guys, yes, I'm on the cardio machine. Welcome to Future Genetics. It's all about classic bodybuilding here, and as you know, I'm doing the Arnold Classic, and to prepare for that contest, cardio is involved, and this is the morning fasted cardio, guys, before breakfast. Now, it's on a treadmill, as you can see. I'm just going to do some 15-minute walk, medium pace still. But the most important thing about this is that you up your metabolism. It's not about really the calories that I'm burning right now. It's more like the calories that I'm burning throughout the day because of this cardio session. It ups your metabolism for the rest of the day. And that's why you should be doing this. So, I'm pretty much done with the cardio. I'll pretty much keep going until this hits 75. I'll bump it up to 100 soon. And the nice thing about this is that it doesn't matter how fast you go. It still calculates the amount of effort you have to do in order to hit that number. So, you'll never be mistaken. Now, obviously, it's not the amount of calories that is actually burned. It doesn't know my weight, my height, my age, etc. It's just an estimation. But to me, it's a nice calculation to tell you how much effort you put into the minutes you're on the treadmill. And obviously you can do it outside if you want. I just happen to have a treadmill at home, which is nice and easy because you wake up and jump on and you do your cardio. To go outside, you still have to get dressed and stuff, so, you know, it's just convenient. And the nice thing about this is not the burning of the calories, but the upping of the metabolism, as I mentioned before. As you can see, maybe, I worked out quite a sweat. So, that tells me that I definitely did my job here. Anyway, I'm done. So guys, I've arrived to the first meal of the day and just finished doing cardio. And what we have here is the first meal, which I didn't show you yet. So let's do it. So here you have arrived at the first meal. This is actually a simple meal. You know, it tastes better than it looks, I can tell you that. There's banana in there. There's some walnuts in there, 20 grams. And there's actually oatmeal, 30 grams, and 30 grams of buckwheat flakes. And buckwheat lowers the insulin response even more. And I also took the rough cut oatmeal, which digests slower. And the protein in there is 20 grams of isolate, but also 10 grams of something else. Something else is plant protein. Now you only have to add 10 grams of this for your oatmeal to taste amazing. This is chocolate praline flavor, and the reason they didn't just put chocolate, well, a lot of flavors say chocolate praline, chocolate sensation or whatever, they're always chocolate, but this actually tastes like chocolate praline. It's just, you know, very creamy, very, you know, not too sweet. It's perfect. And it's purely from plants and from peas, which means it does have a complete amino acid profile. And it's an isolate, so there's also low fat, low carbs in there. And there's 20 grams of isolate from whey in here, so it's a good protein source. Liquids that I used is 175 milliliters of almond milk, low fat, almost no calories, and 100 grams of actually liquid egg whites, which makes the creaminess appear even more. So, and that's about, I think, 3.5 egg whites. But anyway, this is my first meal, and this is one of my favorite meals actually of the day, so let's do it. And before I forget, here we have the pineapple, which I eat right after this. So yes, this is the pineapple, and the thing that this does is, you know, able to digest the protein a little faster because of digestive enzymes, bromelain, and yes, some people have said that fresh pineapple contains more bromelain because the canned version undergoes a heat treatment to get rid of all the bacteria, to basically get it sterile. Now that is true, but not all the bromelain is removed in the canned version. And as a bodybuilder, sometimes you have to go for comfort as well. This you just get out of the can, it's very cheap as well. And make sure to get the unsweetened version, so the calories are exactly the same. The vitamin C is still in there, which is a very nice vitamin to have in pineapples. It's available there. Very good antioxidant. And yes, that's the only difference basically. And when you get a fresh pineapple, trust me, it's not easy getting those slices out. Even with that thing you use on it, it's a mess. Especially if you eat a lot every day. So this is the reason why I choose this. But when the pineapples, well, they used to be €1 a piece, not even €1. And then you've got quite a lot of pineapple for almost no money. So I bought about 20 back then. It's still on my Instagram a while ago. And yeah, the taste, you know, fresh pineapple does have a different taste. It's more firm, you know, it tastes more natural, I guess. This is a little softer, but still, I choose this version. I notice that it helps. I just notice that it digests the protein better. You know, my stomach is not bloated after eating a meal. At least the bloat goes away very fast. And when I don't eat the pineapple, I just notice that the effect is not the same. Anyway, I'm gonna enjoy this meal right now. Alright guys, it is time to start the workout. This was actually a morning workout on a Sunday, and that's usually chest day and shoulder day. And you know, I did my cardio, I had my pre-workout meal, and now I'm off to the gym. And what we're starting out with is some warm-ups. I've never showed this on this channel before, but I usually do this exercise, the rotator cuff exercise. And this one basically warms up and, you know, fills with blood the rotator cuff, the little intricate muscles in your shoulders that you actually do not train when you train, you know, when you do the bench press, when you train heavy shoulders. Those little, small, balancing rotator cuff muscles inside of your shoulders, they remain weak unless you train them, unless you stimulate them, you target them using exercises like this. Now, I used to have a shoulder injury very badly actually from doing bench pressing. Now, my form wasn't very good back then, but then again, I couldn't get rid of it myself until I did these exercises every single time I did chest or shoulders, really warming the entire shoulders up, you know, especially the rotator cuffs, making sure that there's already some blood in there so that they don't get shocked when you make a sudden movement on, for example, the first exercise, the bench press. Now this is set number 1. You know, I put set number 1 here, but we actually did 2 warm-up sets already, one with the bar and one with a 10-kilo plate on each side. So this is the first, you know, real set where it's starting to feel like something. Especially on the bench press, it is so important to warm up correctly. Especially because this exercise is the most dangerous exercise, chest and shoulder wise, there is. Almost everybody who has ever torn a rotator cuff or you know, a pec muscle tear, it is all because of the bench press and simply going too heavy, messing up your form, not warming up, you know, skipping warm-up sets, stuff like that, and that simply causes injury. So take the time and warm up. Now, I actually have been starting to feel a little small ache in my shoulder, so that's why I'm not going super heavy on the bench press. I'm only going as heavy as I can feel is safe. So, you know, I'm doing 100 kilos. This still feels smooth. This still feels nice. I barely feel my shoulder here, especially because of the rotator cuff warm-ups. And you've heard so many stories of bodybuilders, you know, especially right now I'm in prep, you know, preparation for a competition. But you've heard so many stories of bodybuilders who have aches and pains, and they still keep training as hard as they can through the pain. And then a year later, they tear something, or they, you know, they mess up a joint, a tendon, a muscle. So many stories like that, so it's more important in the long run that you just skip the heavy weights.
Whoop.
Last.
So, what I said before, skip the heavy weights. That's what I'm doing right now, but you can still make it hard on you without the heavy weights. Usually I can add another plate with this and still do 10 reps, but I decided to do paused reps this time with 100 kilos. Now trust me, doing paused reps removes all the momentum from the movement and puts all the strain, all the tension on your chest. And you know, you only have to do one set of these and your chest will be pumped beyond imagination. Trust me guys, give it a shot. You will feel, you know, normally you barely get a pump after bench press, but after a set like this, you will. Guaranteed.
Netjes, kom op. 3, hup. 4, kom op man. Kom op. Kom op.
And now it is time for another basic classic exercise, pyramid style, the incline dumbbell press. Now, as you can see a little bit my chest through my shirt, that you can see it stretching and contracting when going up and down. And that's what you want. You don't want to lose the tension, so you don't want to go all the way up, pause for a few seconds and go back down. You can do that on heavy squats, for example. If you really on the last set you want to push out some more reps, but during the dumbbell press, as you can see, you know, you can half a second rest at the top, but consciously put the tension on your chest. That's the most important thing. The tension mustn't be lost.
I'm losing 5 reps by deadlifting 100 kilos from the rack. Massive.
Yeah.
So this is my last dumbbell press set. You know, I've been not going as heavy as I can possibly go because of the shoulder, but trust me, this is already pretty heavy for me, really focusing on the chest and nothing else. You can see it contract right there, and that's important even on the heavier sets. So don't, you know, if you have in mind, oh, I want to do this amount of weight and you feel you can't, don't do it. The contraction, the mind-muscle connection, that is what it's all about in bodybuilding, guys. That is what it's about.
Let's go. Die staat.
Even moeite mee dit ding op te leggen.
Ja, dat...
Goed man, makkelijk. Help je een keer? Resten. Nu. 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 Kom op. Hup. Netjes. Kom op. Hup. Nu. 3. Kom op. Makkelijk. Kom op. Hup. Nu. Tweede. Tweede. Hup. Laatste. Nu. Netjes.
Now for one of my favorites, but this time I'm doing it on a very slight incline, and the previous exercise was on a very slight incline as well, by the way. You know, that's already enough to target the upper chest, and if you look closely, you can see the upper chest stretch out on this exercise. So this slight incline is more than enough. You know, if you put the incline way too high, and in my opinion the standard incline bench press is a little too high, you kind of target your shoulders as well, and I want to keep those out of the equation. And what the most important aspect about these flies is, you want to go down, feel the stretch, and when you go up like this, don't go all the way up, only on the last set for the final contraction. But you want to keep the tension on your chest, so stretch down as far as you can. Arnold said until you almost touch the floor, and then go back up. And don't go too far up, because you don't want to lose the tension here. The only exercise that allows you to go stretch and contract as far as you can is the cable flies. You won't lose the tension there, but the stretch on the dumbbell flies, to me, is superior.
Whoa. Whoa.
And again, you don't want to go too heavy on this one. It is very easy to injure yourself during chest exercises, especially in the shoulder area, especially during dumbbell flies. It's all about the stretch, and when you go down far enough, the weight doesn't really matter. The stretch you will feel.
Time to witness the ultimate pump.
Yeah, and once again, it wasn't busy at the gym, so, but yeah, this is quite a good lining, I gotta say, but this is the machine flies, and you can see, you know, what I wanted to see, because I know that it shows, is the stretch on the chest and all portions of the chest, not just the upper, not just the bottom, the entire pectoral muscles. So that's what I keep saying. The stretch about this exercise is the most important, because it expands your chest, it stretches it out, it forces new muscle fibers to be created to increase the size of your chest. And on this exercise you can stretch and contract all the way. On the dumbbell flies you can't, and that's why I sometimes like combining two different flies in the same workout. It may seem like the same exercise, but it's actually a very different feel. The previous exercise was really for the stretch, a different angle, you know, a different sensation in your chest, and this exercise is more about the pump. Feeling the stretch and the contraction, filling the pectoral muscles up with blood, and when it's filled up with blood, the next exercise will be even more beneficial when it is stretch related. And trust me, it is.
12. I'll stay here. Come on. Nu.
So now we have arrived at the dumbbell pullover, and as I mentioned before, when you have a pumped up chest, if the next exercise is one that stretches out that particular muscle, it will be so much more beneficial. Now why is that? When your chest, we did it during the flies we did just now on the machine, when it is pumped up, the stretch will feel tighter, stronger. It will actually be more difficult to stretch it out. The tension will be greater, and time under tension is one of the principles of building muscle. And if you increase the tension during that amount of time you're doing the exercise, of course the response will be greater, trust me. So yes, doing the dumbbell pullover, the stretch is the most important, and for the people who have trouble using the mind-muscle connection with this, try squeezing your elbows together as you go down and as you go up. This allows your chest to contract more easily and to stretch more easily as well. You know, it allows you to be more conscious of your chest. And as always, I like to combine the side delts with chest. Now, why is this? We kind of already trained the front delts during this workout. The bench press, the incline dumbbell press, the flies, they all work the front delts heavily. At least for me it does. I never ever really train the front delts, especially I don't do military press or anything like that, to target the front delts, and they are developed enough. They are proportionate to the rest of my body. So I don't need to train the front delts. In fact, if I did, I would have a lot more chance to injure my shoulders because the balance would be off. The front delts would be far stronger than the rear delts. And when that happens, the front pulls more strongly on the joint, pulling it out of place during certain movements, and that can cause injuries. So I like to combine the side delts with chest because, you know, the delts are already warmed up, especially the front delts as I mentioned, and the sides can never be big enough. But I usually only do one maximum of 2 exercises specifically for the side delts during chest. To really fill them with blood, I don't really go too heavy on them. And this is a second exercise for the side delts, but it's also for the rear delts and the traps. And that'll be a nice segue to the next exercise. So what you do here is you can do this with an easy bar curl. You know, it's basically a wide grip upright row, and what a wide grip does is it shifts the tension from your front delts to your side delts. But this exercise, because it's a machine and the handles move in a certain way as you go up, it also targets the rear delts. You know, it kind of becomes a row the higher you go, and rows target the rear delts. So the wide grip makes sure that the side delts are targeted, and the machine, the way it moves, ensures that the rear delts are targeted. So it's a nice combination of exercises that we're doing right here. And as I mentioned before, it was a nice segue to this exercise, the machine shrugs. And, you know, it's a very convenient machine because it's the same machine as we just used. Yeah, I had to warm up the traps a little, but yes, this exercise is great. You can also do it with the barbell or with dumbbells, but I prefer this exercise like this because, first of all, you can grip a lot more weight on this machine than on a barbell. You know, the handles are in such a way that your grip is stronger than a straight barbell. You know, the tension in your forearms is greater, and here it is perfect in my opinion. And during shrugs, it's very important to go all the way up, of course, but also make sure that you stretch the traps out when you go down. A lot of people forget about this, but it is a full range of motion exercise, this one, for complete development of the traps.
San Andreas.
San Andreas muziek.
Like a deadlift?
And what I believe in during shrugs is that you should go as heavy as you can. It is a very, you know, in the exercise there's almost no chance for injury, especially when you do it on a machine. Just make sure that you don't go crazy, and you should still be able to go up and down pretty, you know, efficiently. And if you can't, simply lower the weight. But go as heavy as you can with decent form, you know, as long as you don't try to curl up the weight as some people do. You know, they bend their arms as they go up, basically pulling the weight up as their traps are doing it, and that's not the way to do it. Simply put all the stress on the traps. And finally, guys, yes, we finally got there. The last exercise of the day. Now, we didn't really target the rear delts specifically yet, and I like to do at least one exercise of those when I train chest and shoulders, so I decided to do the rear delt cable flies. Now, this provides constant tension basically on the rear delts, and you cannot, I repeat, you cannot go heavy on this. The maximum weight I use is 10 kilo on each side, and that is even heavy. The heavier you go, the more your traps will do all the work. Remember, the rear delts are small muscles. They are not able to move a lot of weight, so the lower the weight is, the better you will be able to isolate those rear delt muscles. And I also personally train the rear delts during the back workouts. So I train them at least twice a week, just as I do the front delts, because I also train chest twice a week. And this balances out the shoulders, basically, and keeps you from being injured. At least it lowers the chance quite a bit. And this was the workout, guys. I will show you my post-workout meal now. Alright, this is actually my post-workout meal. I just had my 2 shakes, the one with the 60 grams of Vitargo and the one with the 30 grams of isolate. And what you can see here is basically, I already showed this in my announcement video, but the difference is I got rid of the cashews and the almonds and I put in 10 grams of olive oil instead, you know, slowly making changes in order to up the metabolism, and it's a little easier to digest as well. So yeah, there's about 200 grams of cooked brown rice, 200 grams of white fish, and 100 grams of broccoli, guys. And I spice it up with Cajun spices and a little salt, because I just worked out and I sweat a lot. So let's enjoy. Alright guys, that was the vlog type of video of today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I showed you some things that you were curious about. And if you want me to show more of something, less of something, please let me know. This is my first kind of video. And of course I'll be doing full days. You know, I only did basically the morning and afternoon portion. But, you know, I'll get better at it and get full days for you. And thank you for all the comments, guys, and thank you for watching all the videos and all the, you know, the positive feedback that I get. I really appreciate it. It motivates me to do a lot more videos, and I'm simply excited because, you know, all of you guys are with me on the Arnold Classic, and I'm excited to show you the progress and the road to the Arnold Classic Europe. And I will do my absolute best to do my best there at representing classic bodybuilding. That is what I'm all about, and that is what this channel is all about from the start, to bring back classic bodybuilding to the modern stage. So that's what I'll be doing in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, so let me know if you have any suggestions for the next video. But there's still a lot more that I have in my mind that I want to show you, of course, as supplements, the cardio. There's so much more that I want to show you. I still have a lot of ideas left, of course. The cutting video is coming up as well for you guys who are cutting down. And yes, thank you for watching once again. And don't forget to stay golden. Don't.
Trek hem eigenlijk zo naar achter en dan span je heel hard aan. De spanning staat er nog helemaal op.